All right.
Hi, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I'm Brad Grunberg, and this is another edition of How
How
to Start.
to start.
And
We
look
have
who
the amazing Tom Sizemore.
Yes.
So excited to see you again. Not on a movie set, different on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool. The last movie, you and Brad did a scene together. And Brad was like, oh my God, I really want to get him on. One of my all-time favorites. Every actor I ever talked to, Tom, always says how talented you are. And just excited to have you on.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to be here, and it's nice that actors say that.
Yes. So, Tom, let me ask you a question. How did you start way back when? How old were you? Did you always want to be an actor? And where you're from? And what was your first acting role back in the day?
Well, gosh, I wanted to be an actor when I started thinking about it when I was 14, ninth grade. I saw, I saw when I was little, my mom was trying to give us culture, trying to make us more sophisticated. I had a brother 18 months younger than me, and we were we were born in. I was born in Detroit in a lower working class family, and there wasn't a lot of culture. My dad was the first Sizemore to graduate from high school, so my mother one of the ways she was trying to make our lives richer was movies and books. And so when I was I guess I was second grade, we went to see The Wizard of Oz at a matinee, and we saw The Wizard of Oz and Ben-Hur, and I just fell in love with The Wizard of Oz. I just really fell in love with it, and it just blew me away. And I remember this. I said to her I liked Ben-Hur too, but The Wizard of Oz just really captured me. I said to my mom when it was over, when we were in the walking home, I said, wow, that was amazing. And she said, well, we'll see it again one day. We'll see it again soon. I said, well, when we see it again, can I maybe be in it? I wanted to fly like the monkeys. And she said, oh, I don't think you can, Tommy. They've already done it. And I said, what do you mean they already? I thought I was watching it right then. I couldn't conceptualize it. They did it. Well, I said, they did it. When did they do it? And she said, they did it in 1932. And I said, well, how are we watching it? I mean, where are all those people? And she said, well, I think they're all dead, probably. And she explained to me that it was a movie. And she explained to me like they film it. It's like she took a bunch of when we got home, she took some Polaroid pictures, and she took some more of my brother and me. And she said, what they do is, she explained to me that they take a picture like this, but it's a moving, and then she put these like 5 or 6 pictures on a string, and she said, and they make it move, and it's a motion picture. And that was the first time I and it just really got in my mind, this motion picture thing. And when I was like 12, we'd stay up on Friday night. They had a special movie thing in Detroit, and I saw Beckett with Peter O'Toole and Richard Burton, and a whole bunch, The Heiress with Monty Clift and Olivia de Havilland. And then when I was 14, right before I turned 15, I was in 10th grade. I went and saw a Taxi Driver with my uncle.
Oh boy.
And that summer, going into to 10th grade, I had kind of done my first like many adult things. I'd kissed a girl. I smoked a cigarette. I kind of grew up a little bit, and for some reason that character, although I was a little young, that character De Niro played really spoke to me. And I the first time I ever wanted to know, the first time I was ever like really super duper curious about an actor, and I made it my business to find out about Robert De Niro. And so subsequently to that, I saw, The Deer Hunter. I saw Mean Streets. I saw all these movies he was in. And it's when I was watching The Deer Hunter when I was 16. When we got into the theater, the movie theater, it was crowded, and all these people from all these walks of life were all talking. It was at Christmas time, and then the movie was over. No one moved for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and and I was just really moved. And I remember thinking vividly, whatever that is, I want to be part of it. I got to figure out how do you do that? How do you do that? Wherever they're doing it, find out who does it, and I got to become part of it. And I started taking acting classes in first at school, and then with a private teacher. And my mom was real supportive. And then when I was going off to college, I mean, we talked about it before then. I was going to be a theater major. And later she told me she was okay with it because she thought if it doesn't work out, I could always become a lawyer or take that degree and do something else. But I started to do really well at it. And I became a star at Wayne State University. And then I got into these really good acting programs. I was an alternate at Yale and got into Temple. And I just, became really good at it. And it just, from there.
You went to Yale? You went to Yale?
What?
You went to Yale?
I went to the summer program. I was an alternate for their
Yale
program.
drama program
Yeah,
in summer?
Yale was part of it was called the PATP, the Professional Actor Training Programs. It was set up by Robert Brustein and Lloyd Daniels from Yale. It was 12 schools. It was Yale, Juilliard, Temple, University of California, San Diego, University of Brandeis, University of Washington, Seattle. It was 12 of them. And they'd have a class would come in, it'd be a 3-year program, you get a master's degree. And then at the end of your 3 years, Yale, and all these 12 schools would come together at the Juilliard Theater in New York, and you'd present your graduating class to the business. So there'd be agents would be there, casting directors, and it would kickstart it would help kickstart and it did me. I was with Triad's agency right out of the chute, and then Michael Bloom, and then CAA really fast, by the time I was 20.
Wow.
How did you even know about this program? How did you find out about it?
I told you when I saw the Deer Hunter, I made up my mind I'm going to find out about this stuff. And I went to the library. My mom helped me. We rode away to schools and stuff. And I was real proactive. I found out about it. You didn't have a computer, then you couldn't go on Google and go, what are the best acting training programs in the United States? But that's what I did, but without a computer. I had to do it with people and letter writing. And that's how I found out about it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
My mom called the neighborhood playhouse. I remember she told me she talked to people in the neighborhood playhouse, and that was a resource for us. They told us there was someone there, I don't remember the person, who gave my mom a lot of information and stuff. So
that was in Detroit. That was in Detroit.
I was in Detroit then, yeah.
And then when you made it at 20, you moved to New York before LA.
I moved to Philadelphia first. I went to Temple, but I would spend the summers, my summer of 17 to 18 and 19, I lived in New York for the summer, and then 19 lived in New York, and then I moved to New York.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you have a lot of crazy stories because I've heard some of them. Do you want to just share one of your stories that made you decide that like this was where you were going to be?
Well, I don't know what crazy stories you're talking about.
Yeah. What are you talking about? He's an altar. What are you talking about?
I remember you were held up at gunpoint. You were telling me a story, or were you
in Philadelphia? I was held up at gunpoint. That's not why I became an actor.
No, I know, but you survived.
Yeah, what happened there in that situation, Tom?
Oh, that's not an acting story. It was just I was held up at an ATM. I was 18 years old. The guy put a gun to the back of my head and said, "Take it to the limit." And I can only take out $200. And he said, "Hand it over your left shoulder." And I handed over my left shoulder, and there was a pause, and he went boom, and but he didn't shoot me. He ran off, and I collapsed into the ATM machine. And then I do with acting.
Wow.
Well, the reason I brought this up because Brad has a similar ATM story, so I wanted you to share that story with Brad.
Oh, it was frightening as hell.
I got held up in Beverly Hills when I was 22, and the guy shot at me, but he missed it, and I slipped and fell.
You?
I'm sorry?
He shot at you?
Yeah, he rode up his car, put the gun outside the car, told me to walk the money up. I ran. He ran after me in his car. He followed me. Then he cut me off, and I backtracked. And as I was backtracking, I slipped on some grease like Three Stooges, like Curly and Three Stooges, and I landed on my face. And he shot at me. And then I got up and ran, and he took off, and my $40 was on the ground. They caught him and they arrested him, and he was addicted to crack and all this terrible stuff. But it changed my life because I could have taken one right in the back of the head. If I didn't slip and fall, he had a real good shot at me. And those moments change your life. Didn't that change your life forever? Just knowing you got a gun in the back of your head.
Yeah, I mean, it solidified my resolve to be an actor. That was what it took out of it.
Just go for your dream.
But it was like I just went up to an ATM I went to all the time, right by my apartment, and this thing happened, and it was truly frightening. And then when he went boom, I couldn't see him. I mean, he came up behind me, put the gun right to my head, and
wow,
take it to the limit, or take it to the max, something like that. And I said, it only takes out $200.
Yeah,
and and I handed over my head, and he said, hand over your left shoulder. And I took it out of the thing. And,
Tom, we have a question from Patrick.
What's that?
We have a question for you.
Oh, he's just saying, it's a comment, actually.
Oh,
comment.
Tears, comment.
Oh, God bless you too, Patrick.
God bless you, Patrick. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. So Tom, how did you prepare for your role in Saving Private Ryan?
Well, Spielberg had us go to like a modified boot camp. We didn't know we were going. We flew to London to start shooting the movie at a date not too far from when we flew in. But when we first got there, and then all of us, the guys in the main cast, Ed Burns, myself, Tom, Barry Pepper, blah blah blah. It was announced to us by Steven, you're going to go to a boot camp with Dale Dye, who was a decorated Marine who runs still does it. It's called something Warriors, movie Warriors. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But they blindfolded us and drove us. They didn't want us to leave, and drove us like 20 minutes into the outback of somewhere, outside of London, and gave us 10, and we did a boot camp for 17 days.
Wow.
We woke up at 4 and did the PT, the physical training. We ran 5 miles carrying the flag, and we did it all day. We did room clearing, how to engage, how to march, the whole thing. It was a crash course. It was really hard. It was really cold. And we were out there. We ate sea rations and no contact with anyone, no phones, no nothing. And that helped bring us together as a group. It even if we didn't like each other, I didn't know. We were just meeting. I knew Hanks. I didn't know anybody else. But when that was over, and it was a real bond that was forged in, it was just short of 20 days, 17, 18 days. But prior to that, my grandfather served in World War II. He was still alive.
Tom,
He
do you want to
about
some water? You want to have your roommate get you some water?
Oh. I have some right here.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want to talk about it with me.
Your grandfather didn't want to talk about it with you?
No, but he had a bunch of pictures, and my grandmother talked about it with me. What she said, how it impacted him. So, I just steep myself in World War II lore. I like to read a lot, and I read a lot about the period, 1930s, late 30s, early 40s. What American men were like, what they looked like. Guys weren't. Guys didn't have beautiful bodies. They weren't like big farm boys, and they weren't like Nautilus machines or work. That wasn't a big part of our culture. So I worked out a lot before the movie, and then I just stopped and just let myself become kind of like a brick. I just wanted to be kind of like a thick person, and
You were nominated for an Academy Award for that role, right?
No, I was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Oh, Golden Globe for that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh man,
I didn't win.
That's all right. Just being
And,
nominated.
I was nominated for 2 Golden Globes. I was nominated for a Golden Globe for Witness Protection too, for Best Actor,
Oh my
and
God.
lost that too.
That's okay. That's all right.
One of the favorite movies that I loved you in was Natural Born Killers. What was that like?
That was my for me, it was the most fun to do. They were all fun. I really like doing all of them, but Natural Born Killers was it was just a heady time. Oliver Stone was in his I thought he was at his best, in retrospect. I'd worked with him on Born on the 4th of July. I had a small part, and 4 years before, and it was my first lead in a really important movie. So that was exciting, and the cast was so terrific, and the material was was outstanding, and he was shooting in all these different formats, and I didn't really know what he was doing. I knew he was doing something unique, and it was just a great cast. It was everyone knew we were doing something really interesting and good, so everyone brought their A-ist game they could bring, from all the actors to the camera department, everybody. It was just
one of my favorite movies of yours is Heat, with all the big boys, and you being a Robert De Niro fan when you were a kid, watching his, Deer Hunter and Taxi Driver. What was it like meeting him? What was it like working with him? Was it somewhat of a dream come true as an actor and a person?
Yeah, you can imagine what it was like. It was terrific. At that point, I'd been on the scene, so to speak, and after Natural Born Killers, it was like 2 more years, so I did Heat. So I saw him socially a lot at the Monkey Bar. That was where everybody went for like 5
Sure.
years. There every night, every night. It was Nicholson's place, and I went every night, and I lived a couple miles from there, and Bob was there all the time. So I had gotten to know him somewhat because of he was friends with Sean Penn. I became friends with Sean after I became friends with Chris. We did True Romance together. It was before Natural Born Killers. God rest his soul. Chris Penn and I were really good friends, and he introduced me to Sean, and Sean and Bob were close. So when how I found out I was going to be in Heat was I got a phone call from Sean. He said, "Hey, can I give Bob your phone number?" And I was like, "Sure." He said, "What do you want to talk to me about?" And he went, "He'll tell you." And so he called me and. Hey, how you doing? It was wild. He said, "Can you meet me at the Monkey Bar tomorrow night?" And it was a Wednesday. It was Thursday. And I said, "Sure." What? And he said 9:00. And so I went there, and he was already there. And I sat down. He goes, "I saw Natural Born Killers." And it hadn't come out yet. It wasn't 2 years. It was a year later. It hadn't come out yet. It was about to come out in a couple months. It was just a year later. We shot it 93, Natural Born Killers 94 was Heat, came out 95. Yeah. So it was a year later. And he had seen it because he was friendly with Oliver. And he said, I showed it to Michael. Michael came with me. And we wanted you to, I'm doing this movie Heat. Now I'd heard about it. I heard that Pacino and De Niro were doing a movie. It was all the scuttlebutt with all these young actors. And I said, I was in shock, really. I was like, you want me to be in the movie? He goes, I want you to be one of the leads. And Michael does too. So I'm telling you now, and he's going to call you tomorrow. You want to do it? And I went, yeah, I mean, I have to read it. I mean, do I have to do it? He went, you want to do it, right? I went, yeah, I want to do it. Okay. So it was kind of like that. It was it was one of these kind of hard to describe, it was a dream come true,
That's amazing. Now, another question I have is, how did you? Now, a lot of actors, they'll audition and they'll try, but it seems like you worked with a lot of the biggest directors out there. How did you get those? Did you have to audition? Did you know someone? How did you do it?
You just go in for an interview. What is the process there?
Well, it was my work. I'd done Natural Born Killers and True Romance. Did a lot of talking for me. And then Heat, and it was a bit of a different town then, I think. There were there was a real movie town. It's not a real movie town anymore. It doesn't feel like it to me. These movies were, everyone knew what was being made. I mean, when Reservoir Dogs was first hit the street, I heard about it from like 10 people. You have to read the script. It's called Reservoir Dogs. It's the best movie script you'll ever read. It was 1991. And I ended up reading it, and I ended up auditioning for Mr. Pink 17 times. It was me and Steve Buscemi.
17 times?
I read with 17 times.
Wow.
And so did Steve. Steve read with him like 15 or 16 times.
Wow.
Buscemi. He couldn't make up his mind. Couldn't make up his mind. And I was asked to go to Sundance to do it in the workshop and then they got the money. I'd heard about it, read it. Somehow Ronnie Yesko was casting it, the workshop. She cast the movie. I got asked to go to the Sundance, and then they got the money. So then he had to make up his mind who was going to the workshop wasn't necessarily going to be in the movie. So then I went through this horrible. Well, it wasn't horrible. It was a long read off basically with Steve Buscemi, but I didn't get in the movie, but I did get a kind of consolation prize. Got in True Romance, these directors would see the movies. It was that simple. I mean, I wasn't calling people up and saying, "Hey, please introduce me to so and so." I'd get a call from my agent. My man wants to meet you for Ridley Scott wants to meet you for Black Hawk Down. Whatever. That's just how it worked.
That's wonderful.
So how did you book that first big role?
And what was your first big role as an actor when you came to town at 20?
You had an agent or a manager, and you get an appointment and you go in, and the casting director, you either read for them. In those days, it was really simple. You read for them, and then they brought you to the director. And all the good casting directors were looking for new actors. They're always looking for something new. You usually had your stable leads, your stars in place, and so these other supporting parts, they were trying to find exciting young actors for them. And then you get brought into the director, and you just read. You straight up get it like that. There was no fancy shit and no nothing. Just straight up read. You got to come in there and read and get it by the merits of your work.
Right.
Cool. So cool.
To date, what is the greatest part or moment you've had in show business beside working with me in the Witch movie? You and I know that was very moving for you. You were touched by my performance, and what was your famous finest role that you really in your heart going, wow, I made it, or I really had a great time?
Oh, I had a real charmed first 15 years. Everything was from 1991 through 2004, nothing went wrong. It was one great experience after another. It was until I got in trouble. It was just one great experience after another. And Natural Born Killers was my favorite because it was the first one. I think it was the first one I was a leading actor in a big, important, going to be seen by everybody Hollywood movie. So that was a great thing to have happen, And then after that, I was in these big movies. Everyone's going to see them. Going to be all over the world, and you're getting paid a lot of money. So it's all groovy, bro.
Right.
I didn't have any money, and then I bought a $5 million home. It's all groovy. There's nothing wrong with it.
That's awesome.
I mean, when people, I know our audience wants to know, with the good comes the bad. When you got in trouble and the ups and downs of your career to this date, what message can you give people that do hit bumps in the road? You have 4 wonderful kids. What do you tell them? What do you tell people that love you? Because I love you, man. I mean, I met you. I swear, I'm so blessed to have met you because you're a real character, but you have a real good heart, man. You have a real good soul. What advice could you give people about not giving up, about fixing what you this mistake you made, making amends? What can you say about all that?
You know, it depends on the trouble you get in. You know, it's you know, my trouble was really specific. It was drugs. You know, you got to get off the drugs. You know, I got off the drugs finally, and not quit, or you're gonna just disappear. So, you know, you got to do the work though. You got to get off the drugs, and that's easier said than done. Not disappear. You know, stay in the game. You know, so you got to go get some help. You got to do the footwork, get off the drugs.
And it's okay. And it's okay to say I need help. It's okay to say that I need help.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people have a problem with that. I mean, of course it's okay to say you need help. I mean, what the fuck? That's what how do you fix something? It's hard to fix certain things that you can't do by yourself. You can't make a movie by yourself. You know, you can't get sober by yourself. You know, you can't have a baby by yourself. There's a lot of important shit you can't do by yourself. So I don't know why people have a problem asking for help. I guess they do. I never did. I just was a liar. You know, I didn't want to admit that I did them. And then I wanted to do them because I didn't think I had a problem with it. You know, my problems were not about asking for help. My problems were about lying, or first not thinking I had a problem, and then lying about it. And when I saw how disappointed I made people, the shame, and then the problems that came with it. So it was getting out from under that was really a shame-based fuck up. It wasn't about asking for help. I was able to ask for help. I didn't take the help, but I did finally.
Thanks. God bless.
I'm happy that you're sober now, because I got the chance to meet you, and you're okay, and you're just an amazing.
A lot of people doing drugs out there that you don't know are doing drugs. They're doing drugs, and you're hanging out with them right now. I mean, drugs don't destroy everybody's life. A lot of people do drugs. That's why there's a lot of money in it. That's why there's cartels and there's all these shows on Netflix, Narcos, and all this shit, because people do drugs. A lot of people, and they're bad. They're really bad. They were bad for me.
Your life is so much better being sober, right, Tom?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, listen, I don't want the beginning of it. It was just something else I did. I was making movies, doing my life, and it was just something else I did. And then it became the predominant thing I was doing, and then it was a problem. Yeah. Of course, my life's a lot better without them, because I'm, you know the reasons it's a lot better. It's just,
Yeah.
It becomes the big pink elephant in every room you're in.
Right.
Because wherever you go, there you are with your addiction.
Right. And people talk about you, and they say this and they say that, but I believe everybody makes mistakes, and everybody deserves a second chance.
You can't give a fuck what people think. People think whatever they think. Fuck them.
No, I'm just saying about
walk around caring what people think. You're gonna never think about anything else. Everybody thinks a little bit something different. So
how do you just get over? How do you just say fuck it? How do you do that, Tom?
I've always been able to do it. I don't know how. I don't give a fuck what people think.
I know what I'm. Big D. You're from the.
That's why you're an amazing actor. You're so real and in the moment.
I know what I'm doing. I mean, I know if I'm lying, if I'm, I know if I'm using dope. I mean, it matters what I think. And if I can't face a guy in the mirror and look at that guy in the mirror and go, you're okay. You're a decent guy. You're not a liar. That's all I care about. And if no one else can get with that, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Sorry about the language.
No worries. So what are some? I remember we were trying to get together a few weeks ago, but you were shooting a movie. Can you talk about that movie? And I know you.
Yeah, it's called The Legend of Jack and Diane, and it's a really good movie. It's an indie. It's myself, this really talented young guy. His first lead in the movie, and Robert Lasardo. It's a really good movie. It's loosely based on that song by John Cougar Mellencamp, The Legend of Jack and Diane. It's really good, and the same people are doing a movie this summer that I'm going to do. It's like Brokeback Mountain for boxing. I play a trainer. I'm a young Carlo Mendez, Eva's brother. He's actually prettier than her, believe it or not. He was my co-star in The Legend of Jack and Diane. I have a crush on him. He's the best looking guy I've ever been. He rivals Brad Pitt.
Wow.
Brad Grunberg? Brad Grunberg?
No, Brad Pitt. He looks a lot like. You look a lot like him.
I thought you were talking about me.
I met Brad way back in the day, and I thought he was the best looking guy I ever met then, and I still think it today. But Carl gives him a run for his money. He was my co-star in this movie, and he's gonna do this gay boxing movie this summer.
That's great.
It's a nice movie, and I'm doing another movie called Used Mercs. It's about this outfit that steals cars. Use Mercuries, and it's part of a trilogy of movies I'm going to do with these people in Vancouver, and things are cool. Things are good.
Yeah, I definitely want to get you in our next movie, the Mistletoe Massacre. If you're free, I got to send you the script.
Mistletoe Massacre.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you about our Christmas comedy horror movie.
And what about the movie? How we all met? That movie, the witch.
What's that movie called? What's the one we met on?
Woods Witch.
What's it called?
Woods Witch. Well, actually, I was in a movie with you called Screaming Bloody Murder when I first met you, where you kidnapped me, and we shared a nice moment together. And
what was that movie?
That movie hopefully will be coming out soon. It's in the final processes, but it was me, you, and Todd Bridges in a scene, which was really fun. So
that's great.
I know.
Oh my God, Todd, I love him. Oh, that's great.
I love you and Sean. Working with you guys a lot. It was great.
Thank you.
And we're gonna write a pilot, aren't we?
Yes, we're
gonna do a pilot.
About that up. We're writing a pilot right now for Tom and I, and Lauren and Sean are going to direct it. It's we can't really talk about it, but it's going to be fantastic. Tom, I get to reunite with you, and it's going to be hilarious, and it's going to be action packed, and we're all excited about it.
That scene we did together in this movie was really outstanding.
Oh,
it was
It was
so much
really funny.
Just met, yeah.
It was truly.
We had history. Yeah.
It was terrific. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Tom.
Good.
And you had great chemistry with Lisa Wilcox. That was great too. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, she was the warden.
Yeah, the warden. Yeah.
Kind of. She liked me in my porn movie. She said or something. She gave me a backstory right there in the improv. Yeah, she was terrific, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Tom, you talk about people talking about you and this and that, and you've done this, that. I'm going to tell people, I know these things. The best is yet to come for you, Tom Sizemore. Think about what I just said. The best is yet to come for you, sir. I'm honored to work with you. I'm honored to know you. You made some mistakes. You're making amends. You're moving on, and you don't look back, but you learn from your mistakes. And I'm just very touched by you being in my life. And Lauren introduced me to you, and I just wanted to say that publicly.
Okay, thanks, Brad. I appreciate it.
Yes. And
yeah,
we're gonna have
when I had to put someone in the cell with Tom, I was like, oh my goodness, Brad needs to be in the cell with Tom.
Never been in a cell before, but if I have to be in a cell,
you seem like you had been there before. Maybe you belong.
All right, maybe once for research purposes. Yeah, I was in one.
You look like you've been there before. You looked it and you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say I was. Tom, this has been unbelievable. Where can we find your social media? People want to get a hold of you. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram?
Oh, I don't do shit really.
You don't do that stuff.
Not really.
That's all right. Your work speaks for itself. So you got.
No, I just don't like doing it. I'm a little older than that. You know, I'm on Facebook though. I'm on Facebook. Tom Sizemore.
You're on Facebook.
Yeah, I have an Instagram account. I just don't fuck with it. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Right. I can't do Facebook. Sorry.
That's okay, buddy. This has been fantastic. This is show 88. That's a good number for me.
Yeah, it's a lucky number.
A lucky number. And Tom, I will be seeing you soon to talk about the pilot. Lauren, any more questions for Tom?
Well, we didn't ask him his. Oh wait, what were you going to say, Tom?
Yeah,
I was going to say you look really nice, Lauren.
Oh, thank you, Tom. I was going to ask you what your first job. We always ask people what their first job was, and I usually let Brad ask the question. But
my first job was in a movie called Penn and Teller.
No, not movie related. Did you work paper route?
Oh, my first job?
Yeah.
Regular job when you were a kid. What was your first job?
I
ever?
delivered newspapers. I worked for the Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press.
Wow. What was that, on your bicycle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
On my
cool.
bike, and then in the morning, I delivered the news after school, and then I got the Free Press too. I delivered that before school, and that was in my grandfather's car. So
Oh.
I had so many customers. So I did that for 3 years, from 10th, 11th, and no 9th, 10th, 11th grade. I didn't do it as a senior.
Oh my God. You know, through this interview, I can see the people who are very important in your life. Your dad, your mom really believed in you and really pushed you to be an actor. That's wonderful. You know, your parents believing in you and your dreams.
And I'm going to be texting you, Tom, because you set your mind to it as a little kid in that movie theater. You said, I'm going to figure this out. And you did, which a lot of people say that and they don't.
It wasn't easy. I mean, I was just a kid too. I had to go to the library and I talk to older people on the phone. But there was only way to do it, though. There was only way to find out about it.
That's great. I love it.
One more question before you go, Tom. If you had to give anyone advice how to figure it out now, what would you tell them?
Go to medical school.
I asked Spielberg when I was 17. I met him at a restaurant.
And he said, "Don't be an actor." I was
He
saying
said,
the same
"Don't be an actor." Then I saw him again, like 23 years later. I asked him again. He goes, "Don't be an actor." Would you tell people if they want to be an actor to be an actor?
I'd say if you couldn't imagine your life being if you couldn't imagine your life being fulfilling, doing anything else, I mean, really thought about it and sat down, and you could be a satisfied adult not being an actor. If you couldn't, you have to be an actor. You have to. I mean, if you really would be unhappy doing anything else, I mean, you don't really know what everything else would be, but you kind of have an idea what it would be. You know, I just really didn't want to do anything else. I wanted to be in movies. You know, it's been the sole pursuit of my adult life, acting well in movies. That's what I wanted to do. It's cool because the work's never done. You can always improve. There's people coming up that you didn't know before that are really good at this and they're making movies and acting and directing. So it's always interesting for me. That's me.
And
But,
you teach an acting class too. Do you want to just give a plug to the acting class you do?
Oh yeah, I teach a class. I just started teaching it 3 months ago. I got a great class. I got unbelievably talented and just 27 interesting kids. Not just all kids. I got a 71-year-old dude in there. They're all. Oh, he's wonderful too. It's not a beginners. It's an acting class that I deal with each person with what they need and what they want to do. A guy had a commercial audition this week and last Saturday. We worked on it in class. So it meets Saturday, every Saturday at 1:00 in Santa Monica at Harvell's. It's a jazz club, very famous jazz club, Harvelles, Harvell's. And we meet there every Saturday at 1. And it's a terrific class. And if you want to, poke your head in, feel free. Come on down.
Cool.
That's great, Tom. Oh, my goodness. Tom, by the way, before we leave, you said wonderful things about my performance with you in the cell. How was Lauren and Sean as directors? Did you enjoy working with them? That was their first movie together directing.
Well, I did. I told you I did. They were terrific. That's why I want to do the next one.
That's why you want to direct the pilot. Okay, all right. Just want to give a plug.
Yeah,
you are special in every way, which way, sideways to highways to. I just want to say thank you for doing this. I know you don't do this a lot. You opened up to us about your life, the ups, the downs, and I really have a lot of respect for you, sir. And I can't wait to work with you again.
Thanks, man. And, thanks, Brad.
Show 88 in the books. I'm Brad Grunberg.
I'm Lauren Francesca.
That's Tom Sizemore. We'll
follow
see
him
next time on How to Start. Tom Sizemore, man, it's on our show.
Follow Tom.
Follow Tom. Go to his class at Harvell's. We love you, Tom. Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.